Hello, bright and shiny beacons of light. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. I've got behind me Lumi the kitty cat, who has taken my chair. And if you are struggling with negative thoughts, if you feel that you have been hijacked by the mind, I'm here to tell you, you have. When negative thoughts take over and start beating on ourselves and we think it's us, it isn't. This doesn't mean that we have a boogeyman that's taken control or hijacked our mind. It doesn't mean that at all. However, we truly are addicted to negative thinking. What does this mean? Well, this means that we literally get a dopamine rush by picking on ourselves. When we pick on ourselves, we get a rush of chemicals when we say, I'm a bad person, I'm not a good person, I'm doing something wrong, I'm screwing something up. We actually start to feel better about picking on ourselves. What in the world does that mean? Well, we've had on the show several times Dr. Rick Hanson talking about hardwiring happiness. And he talks about the concept that we are wired for negativity. We're wired to look for the danger. We're wired to look for the tiger that may jump out and pounce us. And if we can find that tiger, even if that tiger is ourselves, we start to feel better. So when we start to pick on ourselves, if we can remember that it is an attempt by us to make peace with our surroundings, to be able to say, this is the boogeyman, even though the boogeyman is ourselves, we start to take back control of our emotions. The trick is when we do this, we're lacking kindness and compassion, even if there's a hint of accuracy. That's actually what happened to me on Saturday night. And we're setting up kind of a sound thing here that we didn't sound up beforehand because we've got a different computer set up here tonight. So bear with me. This should give us even sweeter sound. Saturday. Oh, what a beautiful day. I got up and said, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. I went skiing with Jessica. I said, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. And it was until the moment it wasn't. Perhaps you have had this experience as well. Everything is going completely well. You feel on fire. Your day feels amazing. And then blammo, everything blows up. Well, I want to dissect Saturday a little bit for you because there's so much positive we can learn by going negative. Okay, first off, the weekend I like to have off, or at least Saturday off. However, with the trajectory the show is on, Saturday has been a partial work day. I want it to be a Saturday Shabbat, a complete day off. We're not back there yet. However, if I can write down in the morning the one or two key items that I would like to get done in the day, I can relax and forget about them. But if I don't, then I feel like a tiger is lurking. All right, we're going to talk more about that. First off, three quick things I want to tell you about, and then we're going to talk about tigers lurking and what can you do to cage the tigers of your mind. First off, our automatic writing program, which I'll talk more about later, it is our number one tool. It helps us to go quiet, to find our purpose, to find our path, to find our direction. In essence, to go into a meditative state and sort of like journaling, you put pen to paper, but the answers come to you. It's almost like writing from a Ouija board, but it's writing from your inner wisdom, writing from God, source, universe, whatever you want to call it, and the words start to come to you. And we've got that on sale right now. You can go over to automaticwriting.com and find out more about it. Again, that's automaticwriting.com. Secondly, coaching is way back right now. We aren't able to help you with coaching until mid-March at earliest. So if you're interested in a strategy session with me to see about getting on the wait list, you better act now or we're going to be looking at coaching not till the summertime. It is automatic writing. If that's my number one tool to help people, then the number one way that I help people, and the tool is part of it, is coaching, is working with you one-on-one. You want to go over, if you're interested in a free strategy session and you're super, super, super serious. In other words, if you want to say hi and you love me, I love you too. But this isn't for you. If you want a strategy session to see about coaching, go to inspirenationshow.com/coaching. Again, inspirenationshow.com/coaching. Last, subscribe. And if you want to support the show, come on over to patreon.com, patreon.com/InspireNation. We put up lots of posts, lots of behind the scenes information. We're going to be starting a Q&A series where you get to ask your questions, and I'm going to answer a question today on video, and you support the show. It's like $7 a month, and it keeps the show going strong. Again, that's patreon.com/InspireNation. All right, let us talk about tigers. If you write down in the morning, what's that one most important thing that if you get it done more than anything else, you will feel good about yourself? Then you don't have to worry about finishing a giant to-do list at the end of the day and going, didn't get that done, I'm a loser, didn't get that done, screw up, didn't get that done, didn't get that done. And that's what our mind wants to do. It wants to turn on ourselves, sort of like, I believe there's a kitty cat behind me trying to shred paper. It wants to turn on us and shred us. Saturday morning, I didn't get this one thing down. I didn't know what my SMP, or my single-minded purpose, was for the day. And so I felt lost or off track, no matter how well things were going. Number 2, know your kryptonite. What's my kryptonite? Food. If I don't have food and lots of food, then my emotional state can take a nosedive. All right, backstory. As a kid, I was sent to bed without dinner. Big deal. That's like 40 years ago. Yeah, I know. But my inner child does not realize it. And neither does your inner child. Which means if there is a trigger or wound from your childhood and you're not doing well, the boogeyman is coming out to get you. So you better have a plan. Mine, food, and also food eating out. Why? Because I used to have a lack of abundance consciousness. And to me, restaurants represented giving away my money for waste. Take me to a restaurant when my blood sugar levels are down, and to this day, I will still go back to that wounded lack in inner child. So we went out afterwards to go work at a patisserie. Awesome. Got me a burrito. Awesome. Feeling really good about myself. Awesome. But then we had a bunch of errands to run afterwards. And my lack mind is going, oh, you shouldn't buy a second burrito. That's kind of silly. You're going to be home soon enough. You don't need that much food. Wrong. Danger. Instead, we left there, blood sugar going low, went to a grocery store, blood sugar continuing to go low, watched other people eating at the food bar. Now my brain is scrambled. And I'm going, need food, need, not feeling good, can't think, not hungry, food, what? We all have these triggers. It is so important to have a plan of what to do. What should I have done? I should have gone over to the buffet, scooped anything out and put it inside of me and said, thank you, Michael. Thank you for taking care of my wounded inner child. Secondly, I got hungry and tired and I stayed out. That was the time to get home, to get to home base. We get to know what our kryptonite is. We get to know what our home base is. Home base for me, quite literally, is put me on the couch, put me in the bed, lay me down. This is something that even Jessica doesn't understand very well. If I'm not feeling good, put me to bed. Have me lay down for a little while, because my inner child wants nothing more than to take a break and not need to be anywhere and not need to do anything. And yet I didn't. So what happens? When this happens, your blood sugar goes down. You're not taking care of your inner child. You're getting hangry. You literally start to go hunting for what's wrong in the world. This is a safety mechanism. Your ego isn't trying to hijack you. It's not trying to hurt you. It's not trying to kill you. It's trying to protect you by finding what the danger is. And if it can't find danger outside of itself, then it is going looking at you. Ah, crap. Michael, here's what you did wrong. Here's what you're not getting done. Here's where you've gone off the rails. Here's how you've ruined your day. Here's how you've ruined your weekend. Here's how you've... When this negativity strikes, we need to find a pattern interrupt and find one fast. I'm looking, I had an energy bar here somewhere on the desk. That can be a pattern interrupt. Patting yourself on the chest. Laura bar, pattern interrupt. Loving myself up on the chest, pattern interrupt. Tapping myself, EFT tapping. It's okay, Michael. It's okay, Michael. It's okay, Michael. That can be a pattern interrupt. Heck, we have a device. I'm not sure where it is right now. We got it in the Philippines. It is a head scratcher. And there is no more surefire way than helping the homie to feel better, helping me to feel better, than if Jessica grabs that and starts scratching on the top of my head. Oh my God, is that a pattern interrupt? So know your kryptonite and know what can absolutely stop you in your tracks. Then know what triggers you beyond your kryptonite. What does that mean? Well, for myself, if I can get myself to automatic writing, then life is good. I couldn't, which actually we'll get to in a minute. But if I can get myself there, life is good. If I want to have a talk with myself in my head, life is good. If I want to lay down and talk with myself, life is good. If I want to, massage myself, anything myself, life is good. If I want to talk out loud with anyone, oh shit. That is the groove in the record that my ego wants to speak out of the most. And what it's going to say is not pretty. That to me is like if I'm an alcoholic and giving me a 40, giving me anything, that is throwing fire on, kerosene on fire. Actually, more than like gasoline on fire, or whatever is even more flammable than gasoline. I have to watch my vocal channel when things are going down. I have to watch it extra carefully. You have your trigger as well. So what I want you to do after this is I want you to take notes on this. What's my kryptonite? What are my triggers? What's my home base? What can I do when I get in danger? That is a pattern interrupt. Having a plan in advance. What are some other pattern interrupts? It could be a glass of water. It could be 3 simple breaths. It could be a guided meditation, a Dr. Joe Dispenza meditation, or imeditations.com. It could be going outside for a walk. It could be, if it's warm enough, it could be hugging a tree. I can't recommend it, but it could literally be taking off your shirt, depending on what the situation is like, and rolling around in the snow outside. You may be freezing to death, but it may well interrupt the pattern of your mind. Could, of course, be the food. It could be a run, but know what your pattern interrupt is. What you're getting here is having a plan in advance. We had on an amazing guest, unbelievable guest a few days ago, Jeremy Courtney. It'll be out on YouTube in a few days. And he's going to win the Nobel Peace Prize, absolutely guaranteed. He has an organization called the Preemptive Love Coalition. And what does preemptive love stand for? It stands for love first, ask questions later, or love first and let God sort it out. What does this mean? Forgiveness and self-forgiveness is the ultimate weapon against negativity. The more we can forgive ourselves for anything and everything, the better. However, we may not even be in a place to forgive ourselves. But if we realize we're spiritual beings having a human existence, if we realize that we weren't created by ourselves, then we might as well love up whatever created us, which means loving up ourselves. Love first, ask questions later. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. I'm an idiot. I'm stupid. How did I screw up? Why am I such a loser? Why did I do this? I can't think that. Blah, 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 blah. Whoa, stop. Stop, drop. Love myself up. It's okay. I love you. We'll figure out everything later. I know. I feel like you're an idiot too. I get it. Talk to yourself if that's an okay channel. We'll get through this. We'll figure it out. But I love you. I love you. I love you. Talk to yourself as if you're talking to an innocent 5-year-old child. Because in essence, that's what you are, and that's what you're doing. You're speaking to that innocent inner child who you would never call a screw up, a loser, or beat up, or kick, or any of these things. It's just a little kid. That's how you want to speak to yourself at these times. Of course, here, if you have the wherewithal, you can go to an amazing Hawaiian prayer, Ho'oponopono. I love you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Thank you. I love you. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. You're such a I love you. Please forgive me. I am sorry. Thank you. But you do. I love you. And just keep carving a new Ho'oponopono groove in the record. And then find a way to diffuse the bomb. We've interrupted it, but now we need to rewire or basically cut that fuse. For me, it's typically automatic writing, going quiet into a meditative state and writing God, source, universe, angels, guides. What the freak just happened here? And what do I do to heal from this experience? Help me, God. Help me, universe. Help me, Mother Earth. Help me, inner wisdom. It doesn't matter your belief. Help, help, help. Write it down. And in automatic writing, you will get the help you are looking for. I was too far gone for that on Saturday night. What did I do? I went to clearing techniques. So we had on the show a few weeks ago, maybe last, Shaman Durek. Shaman Durek talks about how, and if you haven't caught the interview, you definitely want to catch this one. He talks about how the negative thoughts in our mind aren't ours. I'll buy this a lot of the time. I'm not sure if I buy it all the time. I certainly buy that I went into Whole Foods having left the patisserie, blood sugar's low, feeling really off. And there's all this other energy that is feeling really off. And some of that energy certainly could have latched onto me. It's why having lots of drinks, doing ecstasy, things like this when you're out without judgment can get you into some serious energetic challenges that you then want to clear. So I'm at home now berating myself, and I'm really pissed off as a mofo at me for almost no reason, which leads me to believe there's some negative energy attached. And I did a Shaman Durek exercise. I'm going to give you kind of the 10-second version. And I did kind of the Michael version of it, because I take everybody's techniques, and the reason the coaching goes so well is I meddle with them and make them my own. So I took Shaman Durek. I asked, all right, I've got an energy, a voice inside of me telling me what an idiot I am, telling me I don't even deserve to be here. Come on, that's not mine. And at that point, I think Jessica had actually almost knocked down the door and jumped on top of me to try to back into my sanity. Thank you. And I ask, all right, do I have a dark spirit? Do I have a spirit that's latched onto me? And I hear yes and hell yes. All right, spirit, why are you saying that I'm a POS? Because I'm scared if you step into your greatness that I'm going to be catapulted out and I am going to be in big danger. So if I can keep you in the darkness, then I don't have to be afraid of the light. Okay, great. But that doesn't really help me very much. And so then I do a clearing technique. You can either do something of a Shaman Durek technique, which is you can ask spirit, may I send you to the light? May I send you to a place of love, kindness, and compassion? May I send you to a place of unconditional love? And I like to do a yes, 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 and send them there. Or I did an emotion code clearing statement. I took a handy dandy magnet, which I use for emotion code, and I run it over my Chinese meridians while saying a prayer to the archangels, light workers, and guides to help. I'm Mr. Kind and Compassion. Help bring this entity into the light and the kindest, gentlest, most loving and compassionate way possible. I did this clearing statement, and whether there's an entity, whether there's an energy, who knows? It's all energy at the end of the day. All of a sudden, I'm like, did it make everything better? No, I can still see the smoldering ruin that I've become, and I'm not quite sure how to put the entire evening back together again. But man, did I learn some good stuff from it. Fast forward a couple days. Snowstorm last night. We're at a concert. Ego starts to kick up again. You didn't get this done. You didn't get that. Da, 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 da. It's just been one of those weeks. And I'm not alone. I'd say the majority of my coaching clients are having one of these weeks as well. I'm not sure if it's the political process, impeachment, the weather, what, but we all seem to be going through this moody cycle over this past week. Maybe you can relate to this as well. I think it's because we're all swimming in the same field. We're swimming in the same soup. Maybe we're going Iowa, or maybe we're going storms, or maybe we're going fires. But we're all in this soup. No matter what side of the spectrum you are, we're all going through this together. And so last night, and I'm very energy sensitive. If you're listening to this, you're empathic as well, which means you're incredibly gifted and tortured because you're very energetically sensitive. So I am at this concert last night and I'm going, wow, I feel really, really crappy. I mean, I feel really bad. I can't just ground into the music and let everything go. And in fact, the Mozart was fantastic, but now they're playing this piece from the 20th century that is like, I don't know, chalk grading on a blackboard. It's just awful. I couldn't get away from it. If you can't get away from it as well, don't. Instead, lean into it. Lean into the discordance. Lean into the discomfort. Ask, what is here? Why am I feeling this? What can I learn from this? It's so powerful when you take back the reins, and instead of being the one pulled around by the discomfort, but instead the one that reels that discomfort in. Or as Ram Dass, he used to say, I think he said you would snuggle up to things. I like to say snuggle up to fear, snuggle up to the discomfort. Scoot your way to the edge of the cliff and look over and see what is there. Don't be afraid of the boogeyman. Make friends with the boogeyman. Put the boogeyman in the seat next to you. Go for a car ride. Well, better yet, don't go for a car ride. Go for a walk with the boogeyman, or do it in the safety and comfort of your own house, and lean in and ask, what is here? What do you have to share? In fact, better yet, grab a journal. Go to a fresh page. Do what I call the ego dump exercise and write out every single word that negative part of you, I'll put that in quotes, negative part of you wants to say and share and express itself, and let her or him have their say. Why? Well, I call it the better out than in exercise as well, because everything that you repress is coming back with a vengeance, and everything that comes out, provided it's in a safe channel, maybe it's writing instead of orating it, everything that you write out from a safe channel. In fact, better yet, shred it, or if it's safe, burn it and be done with it, because the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between the written word and the actual event or emotion. Lastly, link your dwelling thoughts. They say we have 59 to 60,000 thoughts a day. The trick is whoever they is that did these experiments, I'm like, how do you count 60,000 thoughts? Say that it's the same 59 out of 60,000 thoughts a day, every single day. I don't have money. I don't have money. I don't have money. I'm worried about my relationship, worried about my relationship. I might lose my job. I might lose my job. I might lose my job. I'm worried I'm getting sick. I'm worried I'm getting sick. I'm worried I'm getting sick. I feel too fat. I feel too fat. I feel too ugly. I feel too ugly. I can't stop drinking. I can't stop drinking. Whatever it is, that's great. It's okay. It's human nature. We're looking for that tiger, bringing it full circle. However, let's link it to something positive. I don't have enough money, but I'm working on my manifestation skills. I'm not able to stop drinking, but I'm starting to go to AA meetings or something like that. Or I feel I'm stupid, but each time I feel I'm stupid, I'm reading another page of a book. I know these things sound silly, but if you link a dwelling with a thought or an action, then the very thing that brought you down is now the very thing that is going to be your salvation. In fact, there's a quote from an amazing show that we just released yesterday with, it's on alcoholism. Is it Laura? I believe it was Laura who we had on a couple of days ago. We'll put it in the notes later, which is if you don't, I won't get the quote quite right, but it is something to the effect of, if you lean into that which is inside of you, it will be your salvation. And if you push it away, it will be that which brings you down. So if you look at your negative thoughts as treasures and gifts rather than torture devices, they will truly be your salvation. It's okay that I went down Saturday night. I think Jessica had a little bit of a rough day Sunday. We all do. We all go to the farm. In fact, I'm convinced, like I said, over 50% of my clients this week are going down. There's something in the field. It's like catching a cold. I'm not saying that to make you go down. What I'm saying is lean into it, learn from it, observe it, come up with different techniques, different beyond coping mechanisms that allow you to shine, and it can truly be your greatest salvation as well. Last thing, grab some sage, grab some Palo Santo, grab a smudge stick, go around your room, go around your house and shift the energy. Is it literally clearing energy? Who knows? Is it shifting your space? Absolutely. And you will feel much, much better as well. With that said, going to open it up to some questions here. I know Jessica is miraculously running the chat room here. And so I'm going to see if and what questions we have. And, oh, give her the microphone. I like it.
Our first question is from Tabitha, actually Tabitha's spouse. What is something simple I can do if negative thoughts and emotions are caused by pain? Will meditation or tapping help this?
Oh, brilliant question, Tabitha. Okay, negative thoughts and pain. And I experienced this with one of my coaching clients today, and I experienced it with my knee this morning as well. Our bodies can hijack our emotions because they are trying to keep us safe. So if the knee is sore, you might feel down or depressed. If you've hurt yourself, you may feel down and depressed to keep you safe as well. The trick is oftentimes these things go out of control on us, and we start to think, well, if my back's sore, if my shoulder is sore, if my knee is sore, it is going to always be this way. That is the ego finding the tiger. And yes, EFT, emotion freedom technique tapping, can help us to short circuit that hijacking as well. In other words, we can find a pattern interrupt like EFT tapping, and I went into great detail on that last week, so I'll just do the tiniest touch here. Or we can literally love up our inner child. So this morning, my knee started to be a little bit sore because 2 days ago, I did the most amazing one-legged trampoline workout to build myself strong. So it made sense that my legs were a little bit sore today. Full disclosure, I literally do run mountains. And since the age of 12, I've had no lateral or medial meniscus in my left knee, no ACL, basically bone on bone, was told it's arthritic, had 6 knee operations. I'll never be able to do this. I'll never be able to do that, on and on and on. And it was all bogus. But the mind can still get in there and be worried. And so I wanted my little wounded inner child to hear something good this morning. And so I said, Pookie, my knee is sore. Is it going to be okay? And she has trained very well in this. And she said, yeah, you're going to be fine. If we don't have somebody else who can tell us you're going to be fine, then you can literally go into tapping and you go, I love myself completely and fully, even though I'm worried about my pain. I love myself completely and fully, even though I'm worried about my pain. I love myself completely and fully, and on through 8 different acupressure points, which shorts out the pain. What does that mean? All right. Pain is real. So let's not say pain is all in our head, but let's say that you have pain from an overused knee, and that pain on a scale of 0 to 10 is pinging at an 8 or a 9. Here's reality though, Tabitha. We get into a pain loop, which means the knee pain may only have been a 2 or 3, but it gets amplified by fear and anxiety, and it goes up and up and up and up and up. So if we can get the Pookie telling us we're going to be okay, if we can get ourselves tapping and saying we're going to be okay, if we can short circuit the nervous system to tell us we're going to be okay, then all of a sudden it goes from an 8 or 9 down to a 2 or 3, much, much manageable. When our spacesuit is in pain, it is very hard to get into a positive place. It means we have to try. Get to try? No, we just get to do. Forget about try. We get to do loving ourselves up even more. Thank you so much for a brilliant question, Tabitha. If Jessica's ready, I'm going to give her the wiffle ball mic for question number 2.
Our next question is from Mary Woods, who writes, what's the best way to raise your vibration?
Ooh, a brilliant question, Mary. What's the best way to raise our vibration? And I like the terminology from Paul Selig in his guides, which is to get ourselves to the upper room. One of the simplest ways, put on some positive music. Another simplest way, think about something that you love. Another positive way, which we covered in great detail on last week's YouTube Live, which is to do NLP training, where you do something like linking a state. For instance, last week I described being up in the hills, seeing a carpet of forest of multicolors at the end of September by Greenwood Lake on the New York-New Jersey border. And you picture that state, you picture that amazing place, you feel yourself there, and then you link it with maybe it's clapping your hands together saying, yes, yes, yes. And you see and feel and smell and touch and taste yourself back in that place, and you have completely shifted your state. EFT tapping does an awesome job as well. Loving up your heart can do that. It could be a mantra that can do that as well. So it is no one thing for you, but you get to play what works. But I do that love that neuro-linguistic programming of just going, yes, 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 and putting myself right back in that place. Now, if I'm trapped in the house and my ego and emotions are going wild, let's say I just had a amazing coaching session followed by an incredible interview, and now for some reason I'm stuck on the computer and I don't have any food in me. Key point on food, but healthy foods. On that note, realize food isn't quite the medication that we think it is, because we tend to crave foods at the vibration that we are resonating at, which means if you feel like crap, you're going for crap foods. If you're feeling like crap, don't reach for the candy bar, reach for the celery drink, reach for something that is a higher vibration to give you a pattern interrupt, and kick yourself out. When I'm feeling down, for myself, if I can kick myself out, I feel awesome. For Jessica, the reverse. It's nappy nap time for her. That is her healing place. So in a quieter moment like this, we get to come up with like an evacuation plan for a fire. If you're in a high rise, you get to come up with, and literally, let's have you put this down in paper tonight, what your evacuation plan is when you're hijacked by negativity. Next time I'm hijacked, here's what I'm going to do. Next time I say this to myself, here's what I'm going to do. If I feel completely stuck, Here's how I'm going to interrupt that and interrupt it fast. Brilliant, brilliant question. We're going to go to Jessica next, although I hear Sir Meowsers dancing the Macarena on all of our paperwork in the background because he's just that good.
First of all, we received a lovely donation.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I saw something pop up and then it disappeared off the screen, a glowing green hovering 5. So whoever, do we know who that was? Because I want to send love.
My third eye realized.
My third eye realized. Thank you for the donation. It's your love and donations that keep us going. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And then thank you, Sir Meowsers, for tearing up the equivalent behind us as well. Yes, he did actually throw his Katie bowl off of the table earlier today to let us know how much he was not liking his food choices.
Okay, our next question is from Keith.
Yes.
What's a good meditation to do for relaxing and trying to connect to the guides, especially grounding? I have a hard time doing that.
Okay, I think Keith, that's about 4 or 5 different things at once. Okay, grounding. First off, depending on the time of the year, it can be literally going barefoot or sitting on the earth.
He is a tree hugger.
He is, oh my God, Keith, get to the trees, get to the trees, get to the trees. It can certainly be sitting, standing, feeling your feet on the ground wherever you're at, and imagine that you are growing tree roots into the earth and feel them growing stronger and stronger, deeper and deeper, spreading out all around you until you are firmly rooted in the ground, and then drawing up all the energy you can, Keith, drawing it up from those tree roots into the base of your spine, up through your entire spine until it's coming out of your head, almost into the heavens, and then coming back around, down, and into the earth, and then circulating back up again. If you can do this even just a few times, Keith, you are going to feel much more rooted. Now, as for connecting with the guides, some of us, like Paul, are gifted where it just comes completely naturally. For myself, and the reason that I teach automatic writing, and you can get the program at automaticwriting.com, I teach everybody how you can plug into your guides and to the same guides, because guides are guides, through automatic writing, which involves going into meditation, quieting the mind. So you do that for about 10 minutes in the morning or 10 minutes in the evening of quieting the mind, then going into an intention setting prayer, where basically you envelop yourself in this ball of glowing golden, oh my gosh, glowing golden love and light. So basically you surround yourself with love and light, and you put yourself in the sacred vessel from which to communicate with the guides. From there, you invoke. So first off, intention. You create the sacred vessel, and then invocation. In the second prayer, you welcome in the guides. You welcome in spirit animal, Mother Earth, elders, ancestors, archangels, whomever you feel is by your side. And then with a few key questions, you connect. Here's the trick. And thank you, Mary Woods. How does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? Connecting with your guides is something any of us can do. In fact, you don't need a belief system. You don't even have to be spiritual. Why? We've all pulled the car sideways and avoided the crash. Where'd that come from? You weren't thinking of pulling this car aside, whether it's your inner wisdom, whether you call it guides, whether you call it giant cheeseburger in the sky. Something inside of you said, turn the wheel now, which is all the something inside of you that said, call your friend, you pick up the phone, and they're on the other end before you've even dialed. We all have that. But what we need to do is build that handshake, build that connection, or basically get a clear stream, like connecting an optic fiber line, and then practice passing that energy back and forth until it grows stronger and stronger still. So I equate talking with the guides to going on a first date and starting to make that connection or the handshake, and then going a little bit deeper and a little bit deeper still, so that over time, You can literally become like a Paul Selig. You can become like a Neil Donald Walsh, the author of Conversations with God. Or you can become like a Michael Sandler, me, everyday guy who can hear the guides inside of him at a moment's notice if I'm willing to listen. Again, Saturday night, that was the challenge. Wasn't willing to go into my automatic writing because my ego was having a hissy fit. But the voices are there, loud and clear. It's not a booming voice. It's not a burning bush. But if you watch any of my interviews, you'll see that all of a sudden I'll go, why don't you tell me about in that pause? I let the universe in. That's the trick when it comes to hearing from your guides. If you're going, doing, blah, 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 blah. It's like your hands are tightened in a fist. No matter how much you ask for help, ask the universe, please give me some coins. If your hands are like this, you can't accept anything. But if you can pause, open those hands up and breathe, universe can give you almost anything you want. Practice, go to something like automaticwriting.com. Each and every day, make it part of your practice to communicate with the angels, communicate with the guides, communicate with your inner wisdom. And it doesn't matter whether you have the initial gift of a Paul Selig or of a Neil Donald Walsh or of an anybody. Those voices or wisdom will come to you no matter who you are. I have no idea why in the chat room I am seeing a Hanukkah song by Adam Sandler coming across here. What is my next question, Jessica?
Our next question is from Susan Wilder, who had asked about grounding. How do we know if we are grounded or if we need to be?
Susan, that is a brilliant question. The short answer is all of us could use more grounding because we were never, before modern society, disconnected from the earth. We were in trees. We were on the ground. We were wearing moccasins. We were barefoot. We were connected to the earth. There's the expression, salt of the earth. We were all connected. Never were we in insulated homes, wearing rubber insulated shoes, driving rubber insulated tire cars, or on electronics which build up an electrical charge, or with cell phones which have an electrical charge going through the air, or we're literally swimming in the electrical charge that we're in now. So we can all use being grounded. How do you know if you're not grounded? Well, if you can shuffle up to the person next to you this time of the year and go zzz, zzz, and zap them, you're not grounded. You're carrying a charge. On my computer desk, I have a grounding mat from earthing.com that is plugged into the third prong of the electrical outlet called ground, which not only protects the electronics, but it protects me too. And at night, I sleep on a grounding sheet. And then I try to take time connected to the earth each and every day. Admittedly, a little bit challenging here by Aspen this time of year, where it's below 0 tonight. But in general, I want to plug into the earth as much as I possibly can. Is there such a thing as being too grounded? Not a chance of it. Can everybody benefit from it? Absolutely. How does it help? Better sleep, decreased inflammation, better digestion, clearer of mind, less chance of getting colds or infection. Overall, general better sense of well-being, less stress and anxiety, and the list goes on and on and on. We have many, many shows about that. If you type in Earthing and Michael Sandler, you'll find stuff. Earthing Inspire Nation, you'll find stuff. And certainly check out anything by Clint Ober. He is absolutely amazing. All right, next question, Jessica.
Well, since we're on the topic, Mary asks, what's earthing sheets?
So earthing sheets, the old school, I don't know it's a carbon material they're using on the latest ones. The old school earthing sheets used a silver fiber woven into a basic sheet. And then on the ends of your sheet is a little plug, and you plug a wire into your sheet that you can either run through a copper cord outside and stake it right into the ground like a tent stake, you're plugged into earth, or it plugs into your third prong on your electrical outlet, which is what protects your electronics from shorting out, from it too being ungrounded and carrying an electrical charge. Your house is grounded. Your electronics, as a general rule, are grounded. Everything important is grounded by that third prong, and then your sheet can be grounded as well. We sleep better at night. We feel better at night. I wake up more rested and refreshed. And if I've got soreness going on, then sleeping grounded helps me as well. Jessica almost has a smirk right now. I'm not sure why.
Well, Don asks if Michael will
Not
sing.
happening. There is a limit, Don. I have my boundaries. And yes, I do have a mean Adam Sandler impersonation, but I have yet, Don, and someday you will get me, I have yet to find a way to get that out in public. Mick Sandler, that may be another story, but I have no idea how to bring out my inner Adam on a moment's notice. Next question.
Joe asks, Michael, have you heard of this form of meditation? It's called open focus meditation. This meditation puts you in synchronous alpha state, so calming and relaxing to the body and mind.
I have not heard of open focus. I can guess 100 different ways that we might be able to get there. But it sounds fascinating. There are more colors of meditation than there are colors of the rainbow, and they're beautiful. And so I'm open for hearing more about it. It may be something that you scatter or diffuse your attention and you allow everything in without attaching to anything. That can be phenomenal. But no, I can't say that I've heard of that particular meditation.
Okay, we have a question from Meredith. I've been playing with the language of not letting things land and thinking about how a thought does or doesn't serve me. They don't always work, but I want to share them. Thoughts? Well,
Meredith, the concept of thinking about each thought in particular and how it serves you is phenomenal. In fact, I love the idea that Shaman Durek shared a couple weeks ago on the show of every thought being either a tap or a drain. Every single thought either fills us up or takes our energy away. Truly, to me, mind is creator. Every single thought matters. Now, I don't want you to get carried away from that. And if you have a bad evening like I did on Saturday night, then to go and pick on yourself. That's the worst thing about self-help is we then pick on ourselves for trying to do good. We aren't able to meet an artificial standard. And so we pick on ourselves some more. I don't mean that. But truly, the more that you can watch your thoughts and truly become, as Rick Hansen of Hardwiring Happiness, become Teflon to the tigers coming into our mind, become Velcro to the positive thoughts, the better. Does each thought matter? Yes, absolutely. Does this mean that if something bad happened to us, it's our own fault? Absolutely not. There is so much more going on that meets the eye, and so much more going on than we realize on a conscious level. You see, we are all here for learnings, for growth, for expansion, expanding consciousness, expanding awareness. That there really is no good and bad. I know this is just crazy. This is just a crazy concept. There is no good or bad. There are, on the other hand, things that fill us up and things that drain us. But that still doesn't mean that I'm going to call it good or bad. From this aperture, well, this thing, that's really, really bad. That's evil. This other thing, that's amazingly good. This, tremendously bad. This, amazingly good. And you're right. But what if we stop the aperture back one diopter and then another and realize that we are infinite beings having a human experience and that this is, in a sense, a hologram, a holodeck, a holographic lifetime. Everything matters. Everything is a learning experience, but it doesn't have the heaviness to it. Then we realize that everything truly is here to serve us, and that everyone, even the antagonists, are playing a very positive role in our growth and development. That doesn't mean that loss isn't still loss. That doesn't mean that losing a loved one or a child getting sick or anything of this is good. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that once we're on the other side, we can see how that was here to serve us once we're reunited with our loved one. That doesn't mean that we don't mourn, that we don't grieve, that we don't, hurt if somebody pricks us. Of course we do. But there can also be something incredibly, amazingly positive that comes out of it if we choose to ascribe that meaning to it. Do I believe that everything in life happens for a reason? Yes, absolutely. If we choose to give it that positive meaning, that positive significance. What does that mean? Isn't that kind of wishy-washy? No, the world is filled with paradoxes. If you want to say that was a horrible experience, you're right, that was a horrible experience. If you want to say that is an incredibly positive experience, then it is an incredibly positive experience. If you want to say, I'm too wounded right now to even know, that's okay too. Love yourself up. Let the universe unfold over time and ascribe positive meaning to it, because you can choose for it to be a tap or a drain. All right, we've got time for 2 or so more questions. Actually, we got started at 5 past, so we've got time for maybe 3 more questions.
Okay. My third eye realized, writes, what would you recommend for waking up with extreme panic and anxiety every day? I feel like I've tried everything under the sun since my TBI 4 years ago, and more trauma after trauma.
All right, so there's a third eye realized. First off, there are techniques we can do outside of the morning to work on things. I'm a big either Dr. Bradley Nelson's emotion code kind of guy, or a pot and pock running bars kind of guy, or my own kind of modified version of all of the above, where I help do some major energetic clearing work. So I'm going to recommend get some energetic clearing work done. Also dive into EFT tapping and throw the kitchen sink at this. However, I'm going to give you the third eye realized. I'm going to give you the craziest idea in the world. All right, third eye realized that fear and anxiety now has a name, and that name is Bob. So when fear and anxiety, Bob, come into your life, I want you to, Bob, say hi to Bob and make Bob your best friend. Hi, Bob. So when you wake up in the morning and you're going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and I understand this feeling. I have been there more often than I care to admit. Welcome in, Bob. Say, how are you doing, Bob? Did you get enough sleep, Bob? Can I get you some coffee, Bob? Give him or her a name. Let him or her have a voice. Welcome them into your life rather than pushing them away and saying, Bob, pull up a chair. I'd like you to share. What do you have to teach me? Why are you so freaked out? What can I learn from this? In other words, third eye realized, I want you to snuggle up to the discomfort. Modern psychology, positive psychology, what you think about, you bring about. So you better kumbaya and you better push all your thoughts away. Bogus. Bring it all in. Get yourself in harmony with yourself. Yes, you can turn on some better music for Bob. Yes, you can stop going to bed watching the news, negative, worthless stimulation, or watching horror shows, or watching crime thingy, or whatever it is that then your mind goes working on through the evening. And certainly don't review your to-do list right before you go to sleep, because you're going to feel like crap. Instead, say, how much positive stuff can I ingest every single evening? I'm not talking food here. How much stuff can I ingest before I go to sleep? How much can I dim the lights down? How much can I make my home a loving Zen zone? How can I watch, if I'm going to watch something on the tube, something that's incredibly positive? How much can I put fountains or water sounds or nature sounds in my house? How much can I pet up my dog or my kitty before I go to sleep? How much can I repeat a mantra as I go to sleep? I am waking rested and refreshed. I'm waking rested and refreshed. I'm waking rested and refreshed. How much can we carve a new groove in the record so that when we wake up, we're still repeating what it was we went to sleep? Do all these things. And then when Bob shows up, Bring Bob in. Have a party with Bob. Have a feast with Bob. Make Bob your best friend and work on how we can heal Bob and love Bob up with everything we've got. Okay, we've got time for 2 more questions, but let me go. Third Eye Realized, let me know how it goes, and I want to know how Bob is doing next week. Remember, everybody, every Tuesday, 6:30 Mountain, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, we have these. Plus, we have premieres 3 days a week consistently. We have premieres every Sunday night, every Wednesday night, every Friday night, where I'm going to be answering your questions. We're going to be watching this together, and I am there going through the interview along with you, and I am there for you. So bring all of your questions as well. All right, I've got time for 2 more questions here. Insert awkward pause.
I'm trying to think if I have a question. I know. What are we doing for Valentine's Day?
OMG.
We don't usually do anything.
I have no idea. However, to redeem myself, I have actually cleared the calendar for Valentine's Day and for President's Day. So we have a 4-day love each other up weekend for something. We just get to figure out what that something is. So I'm going to throw the question back in your direction, Pookie.
But we have.
No. Whoa. I have to ask, is there anything, because I want to be the hero. I want to be the knight in shining armor. Is there anything you want us to do for Valentine's?
You're going to bake a chocolate cake.
Okay, now are there any stipulations? Because I did bake brownies yesterday, which you thought were awful, because I used applesauce instead of oil.
It can't taste awful.
So what you're saying is I have, today is the 4th, I have 10 days from now to practice and come up with a good chocolate cake?
Yes.
I accept that challenge because when it comes to chocolate, I'm game. All right. And everybody, we will keep you updated. We will keep you updated as to how the chocolate comes out. Last question.
Okay. Denise writes, I don't understand what you mean. Why would you do that? Sorry, does not make sense. Why would you do what?
It could be, why would I love up Bob? Why could I invite Bob in? That might be it. That would be my number one thing. Why are we going to welcome in negative energy? Why are we going to welcome in fear and anxiety? Because that which we resist persists, Denise. Everything is here to serve us. Everything is here as our teacher, as our guide, as our mentor. It's all energy. There is no good or bad. So the more that we become awake and aware, and just the fact that you're watching this, Denise, tonight, means that you are becoming more awake and aware. Means that when you look at that which scares you, that which causes you to shake, that's which gives you your greatest fear, you are actually coming into alignment with your highest self and taking your life, taking your beingness to a higher level. We've been taught at kids, keep quiet, don't do this, don't do that. For guys, your only emotions that you're allowed are what? Fear and anger. Don't touch base with your heart. But oh my God, if we touch base with our heart, if we touch base with our wounds, if we touch base with that which we have pushed away the most, then we become whole again. Now, there's a difference between saying, I want to learn from Bob and I want to throw fire or kerosene or gasoline on Bob. That's a different thing. I'm not talking about fueling the flame. That's why I'm saying pull out a scratch pad, pull out a composition notebook and write out everything that Bob wants to share and then shred it and be done with it. I'm not talking about fueling Bob. I'm talking about listening to that which scares us most or that which we have repressed, Why do we go to so many counselors, psychologists, and psychiatrists? Because we've squashed all this stuff down and we need to get it out. Once we get it out, we feel better. Our stress and anxiety is down. And guess what? A lot less dis-ease. Think about that word for a minute. Dis-ease. Literally, so much of our disease is caused by squashing down negative emotions rather than getting them out. So the whole concept of what you think about, you bring about. So you better hide and stuff your emotions is all hogwash. Does it mean that if we go to a higher room, we're not going to manifest? No, absolutely. Does it mean we don't get to the highest vibrational state that we can? No, we absolutely go to that place. Does it mean that we don't want to have negative thoughts? No. We want to cut our addiction to our negative thoughts. Notice the title, Break the Addiction to Negative Thoughts. We get negative thoughts, and instead of learning from them, instead of experiencing them, instead of going through them to see what's on the other side, we just repeat them or repeat them or repeat them or repeat them or repeat them rather than face them and say, hey, negative thought, why do you keep following me? Why are you tailgating me? And what can I learn from you? So that's all the time that we have for this evening. Few quick thoughts. Can't recommend automatic writing enough. That's automaticwriting.com. Before I'm ever done with this show, and by that I mean we're at like 1,300 episodes. Before I ever say I have done enough, I want everybody everywhere to get automatic writing because it's not just my number one tool. It's not just what I use for every single one of my coaching clients. But I can think of no better way to touch base with your negative thoughts, to learn from your negative thoughts, to find your guide or guides, and to plug back into source, universe, or inner wisdom on an every single day basis and say, why am I feeling bad? Why do I have these negative thoughts? How do I find my purpose? How do I find my direction? How do I get in alignment? And to write every single day from this place, like having your own Donald Walsh conversations with God and get guidance and clarity in your life. And like having me as a coach with you, consider this coach light. But truth be told, it's actually more powerful than having a coach because as you practice in automatic writing, the voice or the guides or whatever you want to call it starts to get louder and louder still to where you can hear it on a moment-to-moment basis. Imagine being able to stop and going, oh my God, what's going on? Where do I go from here? And having a voice in your head say, this is what's going on. This is why this isn't working out. This is your next step. Stay away from this guy. Move towards this other person. And here's what you want to do next. That's what you get out of automatic writing. It's why we literally were on Maui. Oh my God, is it like 5+ years ago? We're on Maui 5 or more years ago, and Jessica's sick. We're wiped out financially. We didn't know where to go, where to turn. We ended up in her childhood bedroom, 2 twin mattresses in an 8x10 bedroom on the floor. And I started going into automatic writing, going, what happened? How do I get out of this situation? Why are we stuck? Why do I have a car down in the driveway, but I don't even have enough money to register the car? And where do I go from here? And I put my pen to paper and it told me why. Ooga booga. I heard why I was stuck, why we were out of alignment, what we were doing wrong, where our lack of consciousness came from, what we could do to overcome this, what's the show that we get to start, how I can take my coaching business to a next level and crank it back up, dust it off. I've been coaching for almost 20 years, dust it off, crank it back up to the next level, and on by going into automatic writing. So it is the life changer of life changer of life changers. If you can't afford coaching at this moment, that is where I would start above and beyond anything else in the world. It is a game changer and a life changer. With that said, if you do have the funds for coaching, and I'm not inexpensive, but I will rock your world. I will help you take your life to the next level. If you're serious and realize we're waitlisted all the way back into mid-March right now, so it's going to be through the summer we're going to be waitlisted, come on over to inspirenationshow.com. /coaching. Again, inspirenationshow.com/coaching. Sign up for a free strategy session. Jessica, a quick question. I like to talk about automatic writing. I can't recommend it enough. But is there anything that I don't usually mention about automatic writing or that you want me to mention before we wrap up?
Well, I had a question for you. We were doing live calls, automatic writing live calls for those people in the program once every quarter. Are you now moving to once a month?
Yes. I'm going to be moving to a once a month class for automatic writing. So if you get signed up now and it is on sale, then we are going to have a class. I believe it'll be the last week of February. In fact, I'm sure it's going to be the last week of February where we are going to teach this to you live. Okay, what is the automatic writing program? It has video after video, module after module that walk you through it step by step, baby steps to help you do this, to help you touch base with your guides, to help you connect to God, source, universe, inner wisdom, whatever we want to call it. And yes, I have literally had people go through this program and then start charging money as mediums because of the connection that they've built from teaching them automatic writing. You will get those skills out of this as well. And so you can follow it through step by step. Plus we have a Facebook group. Plus we have a live class once a month where you can learn with me on video, on camera, answering your questions. You can say, hey, Michael, I'm doing this, that, or the other. This hasn't worked. This isn't working. This is working. What can you teach me about this? And if you sign up now and it's on sale right now, then you've got a couple weeks to practice it before class where I can really go in depth to any questions that you have. Why do I keep talking about this? Because if you're here this evening, then you've got questions in your life, you've got negative thoughts, and you've got challenges. And I can think of no better way than waking up each morning, welcoming your Bob in, going into meditation, going quiet, and saying, all right, universe, what do I need to know today? And letting the universe have a conversations with God, conversation with you. You don't need a priest. You don't need a pastor. You don't need a rabbi. You don't need an anybody. You do need a journal or something to write in, but that's all you need. And you can have a direct connection yourself with your highest good, with your higher self, with source, with spirit, with Mother Earth. Heck, sounds nuts. But if an animal comes to visit, you can literally write to your spirit animal and say, why did you come into my life? Why did I have this experience today? Again, that's automaticwriting.com. And I believe that's all we have for tonight. I love you guys so much. I look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same channel. Come join us. We'll have our next premiere tomorrow night with Jeremy Courtney of the Preemptive Love Coalition. Out of nearly 1,300 interviews, and I don't even know how many times on the mic, my all-time favorite show. And then come join us Friday as well. Right now, I don't offer sliding scale on coaching. However, automatic writing can go a massive way because you're plugging into spirit, can go a massive way to helping you on your journey. We're always looking into the best way to reach everybody. I'm not sure whether it's going to be a group coaching class in the future or what it is. I do know that if you get automatic writing, you do have live access to me once a month, and that'll be the end of this February. I love you guys so much. Thank you, Pookie. Thank you, Pookie. Thank you, Pookie. And whatever you did to pacify Sir Meowsers for tonight, you pulled off a miracle. So thank you, Meowsers. Love you guys so much. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow night at 6:30 Mountain, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern for our premiere with Jeremy Courtney. Then our next premiere Friday, and then our next premiere Sunday. And then we will see you back here, same time, same channel next Tuesday. Shine bright. Love you guys so much. Woohoo! Thank you, Pookie. Love you guys.